Hi guys, so in this video I'm going to be talking about critical skills work permit. So if you're coming for your masters to Ireland and you're wondering what is the system for the work permit, how do you stay back in the country after your masters? So guys, it's very simple. So once you graduate from your masters, you get stamp 1G, that is your 2 years stay back. So once you finish your masters, you get permission to stay back in the country for 2 years. You can work during that time, and also there is another option that is called stamp 1, that is critical skills work permit visa. Now what is critical skills visa? So like every country, Ireland has some skills for which they do not have enough people within the country, they do not have enough people locally. So what they do is they hire people from outside of Ireland. I'll give you an example. For example, let's say computer science. I know computer science is a broad field, so let's probably take cloud computing. So for example, if someone is a cloud computing expert or cybersecurity expert, so Ireland doesn't have enough people with that skill set in the country, so they hire people from outside of the country. So that becomes a critical skills, and there is a list of critical skills for Ireland on the government's website. I will list it in the description box. So yeah, so if you move here for masters and if you have that particular skill set and if you did the particular course for which there is a lack of skills in the country, then once you apply for your work, you can get critical skills work permit visa if you are eligible for it. So guys, when you move here, make sure that you're choosing the right course, you're choosing the right skill if you're planning to stay here for long term, because for that you will need critical skill visa. So do make sure that you're checking the list and you are doing your research and you're 100% sure that your course or your skill set is in the critical skills. So guys, if you're confused about what course to choose and what college to choose, or if you've already selected your course and you do not know if it comes under critical skills, then I suggest that you contact Uniflik. Now what is Uniflik? Uniflik is a student community. They provide students with unbiased and authentic guidance, whether it's selecting the right course, right university, comparing colleges, and the best part is they have 98% visa acceptance rate, and they have processed over 120 applications last year, and so many of those applications were from esteemed colleges like Trinity and UCD. So if you're genuinely interested in selecting the right course in college and wanting to get into premium universities, I highly recommend that you contact Uniflik. So the link for Uniflik will be in the description. So guys, please do check out, because it's really important that you select the right course, because you do not want to end up in a situation where you find out later on that your course does not come under critical skills and then you might have to go back. Now let's talk a little bit about the process of how to get your critical skills visa. So guys, when you are applying for jobs, make sure that you're applying for a job where minimum salary is 38,000. Sometimes employer mention the salary in the job description and sometimes they don't. In that case, you can still apply, but initially when the initial conversation starts with HR, you have to confirm whether the salary is 38,000 or above, because you need to have that salary in order to get critical skills work permit visa. Sometimes what some companies do, they increase the salary if they really like you, but make sure that you are applying for the right role. Do not blindly apply for all the roles. Make sure that you check everything and also check the job description, because that also matters when it comes to critical skills. For example, you studied something else but you're applying for something else, and then you might later find out, okay, this does not come under critical skills. Sometimes this happen with students as well. So make sure that you're checking everything very clearly and carefully. And guys, I know there's sometimes confusion regarding the sponsorship. So some people think that the employer has to sponsor the candidate. That's not the case. Sponsorship basically means they are paying your fees, like your 1000 euro fees that you have to pay for your critical skills work permit once you get the job. So guys, there's so many companies those who hire people directly from India, then they get sponsored definitely, but there's so many companies here those who do not sponsor, but they can still help you with your critical skills work permit. So you can still apply for all the jobs, right? So you can still apply for jobs if they are eligible as per the salary criteria. And when it comes to sponsorship, you can tell your employer that I will sponsor myself. So many times it happens in smaller companies that employer will not sponsor you, so you do not have to worry, you can sponsor yourself. You all you need is your contract from them and a document from revenue, which shouldn't be very hard to get. Revenue is the tax department of Ireland. So that's all you need from them. Rest your own application you can do on your own. I did my own application. I sponsored my own work permit. I just needed a job where I was meeting the salary criteria, and the job was under critical skills. So that was the whole process. So many students get confused about it. It is really important to have all your points clear about critical skills work permit or visa when you move to Ireland. So guys, current salary requirement for critical skills work permit is 38,000, right? But you never know, it can increase as well. So keep that in mind and do your research whether what you are studying pays that much salary here. It is not easy for freshers to get that salary, so bear that in mind as well. Another important thing is to check the ineligible list. So ineligible list of skills is a list for which you cannot get a critical skills visa. So it's also important before moving here to check the roles, the skills in that list, just to make sure that you're not applying for the wrong course. Another important thing for critical skill visa is, guys, that your contract needs to be permanent. As in, when you're applying for jobs, make sure that it's not a contract role or it's a permanent role, because so many people, they join contract roles initially and then they struggle because when the contract ends, they do not have a visa backing to stay in the country, and so many times they have to leave if they're not able to find a permanent role. So make sure that you're applying for permanent roles, and even if you're applying for contract roles, then make sure you have your backup when your contract ends. So guys, that was it for today's video. Do let me know if you have any questions. Do check Uniflik out if you are in your planning stage of coming here next year, and you can send me your queries on TopMate. The link is also in the description. And that's it for today, guys. I'll see you in my next video. Bye bye.